Hello everyone, ጤና ይስጥልኝ. My name is Emeline and you're watching ETA to Z on Arts TV. Today, I'm opening the doors of one of Africa's largest and most renowned airlines. የኢትዮጵያ አየር መንገድ. Ethiopian Airlines has come a long way since its first flight to Cairo back in 1946. This veteran carrier, owned by the government, now serves more than 127 international passenger and cargo destinations. Today, we are going to meet the faces behind the airlines that is just over 75 years old. I am with Biskut, who is a flight attendant with 12 years of experience. And you are also
safety instructor for 2 years and 10 months. A safety instructor is someone who gives training for the trainees and theory in the classroom as well as practical drills inside the mock-up. We'll bring the crew members inside the mock-up and we give them practical drills like firefighting and evacuation drills, because we know that air transport is the safest mode of transport in the world. But we never know what's going to happen, so we are, as a cabin crew member, we are there for the safety of our passengers.
Have you always dreamt of becoming a flight attendant?
Sure, just like the other Ethiopian kids, I used to dream that, especially when I see the flight attendants and the pilots wearing that beautiful uniform, and also being a part of Ethiopian Airlines, which is the spirit of Africa and the proud of Africa as well. So being part of this organization definitely was a big deal to me.
What are the must-have qualities and essential skills of a flight attendant?
A cabin crew member should be assertive and caring, and we need to be very strong physically and mentally, because we're going to face a lot of difficult situations.
And the job also comes with challenges. What kind of challenges?
The biggest challenge is leaving your family members and going abroad, especially on some holidays and big occasions. You may not be around, so that's the biggest challenge we have.
Has your family been understanding?
My family members are very supportive, my mother, my sisters, and my husband as well. I'm very thankful for my family members.
በጣም አመሰግናለሁ ብስኩት።
እኔም አመሰግናለሁ።
Now let's move to the training aircraft where we're going to meet one pilot. ማለት
Yes,
you started your training as a pilot a couple of years ago, right?
Yes, I have joined the Aviation Academy in 2018 as a pilot trainee.
And you now operate domestic flights.
Yes, I'm currently first officer on Q400.
When do you think you're going to become a captain?
Maybe in 4 years, I will be upgraded to the bigger aircraft, and after flying for some years or accumulating the required amount of hours to become a captain. According to Ethiopian Airlines standard, we have to have 3,000 hours of flight time in order to be a captain. Basically, the training program consists of 3 different phases. The first one is theoretical part. So it took us about 6 months to complete the theory part, and we went to the simulator for a specific single engine aircraft, or for the training aircraft. Then we went to flight training.
How hard is it?
The training as well as the job is not hard by itself, but it really needs your discipline in order to complete the training successfully.
What does it take to become a good pilot?
You have to manage your time properly. You have to be prepared all the time. You have to read everything about the flight, the aircraft. You have to know the limitations of the aircraft, the systems of the aircraft, and you have to know everything that's required from you in order to fly. It's not only the normal procedures, as you have to know the emergency procedures. You have to know what to prioritize during flight. You have to be able to give best decisions.
When you describe those tasks and requirements, you seem so passionate.
Very much. I'm very passionate about it. You know, I always wake up being energetic to go to flight. I always read about the flight that I'm gonna be flying. I will be prepared for everything. It's very interesting job if you are really committed to it. If you give it the best of your time, the best of your energy.
Have you always dreamt of becoming a pilot?
Ever since I was a child. Yeah. I used to watch Captain Amsale's interviews at different medias. So I think it was from there that I started to have this interest to become a pilot.
Who is Captain Amsale?
Oh, Captain Amsale is the first female captain in the history of Ethiopia. And I think she is the second African female captain to fly Boeing 787.
Do you know how many female pilots there are at Ethiopian Airlines?
I can't be sure the exact number. Actually, we are 6 in our batch, and I believe that we are beyond 30 females who are during training as well as who are on the flight.
What is society's perception towards female pilots?
Actually, it's an unusual career or job in our society. Many people might tell you that it's impossible for a female. The job, it's not challenging or hard just because you're a female. The only thing that's required from you is your dedication, your commitment.
አመሰግናለሁ. Soon to be Captain Mallet.
Thank you, Emily. Anytime.
When is going to be your next flight?
I have a flight after 1 day.
So መልካም በረራ.
አመሰግናለሁ.
Now it's time for us to take off.
Welcome, Emily, to Airbus 350 Flight Simulator. Today we are in Paris Charles de Gaulle. So the weather is amazing today. The wind is calm. This is the weather that we like. Yeah, you're lucky, and you're gonna be pilot flying today, and I will be pilot monitoring.
Perfect.
Okay? So ready?
Ready.
Ethiopian 705, clean for takeoff, runway 27 right. Manflex 48 SRS, runway auto thrusts. Hundred knots.
V1.
Rotate. Positive climb, gear up. You can engage the autopilot.
Okay.
Just touch this. Yeah. I can relax.
Yeah.
This is a critical part of the flight.
Yeah.
Though, so for sake of workload management, it's better to fly with autopilot so that we can see the other critical situations around, because during takeoff you have to communicate and you have to also monitor the flight. So it's better to fly with autopilot after takeoff. But you can fly manually. The aircraft is climbing to 5,000. We're now flying heading 260. So the speed that we have is 250 knots. So it's like miles per hour.
How accurate is the simulation technology?
The flight simulator technology is the same with the aircraft, but there might be some things that you cannot simulate or replicate in the simulator. But
Such as?
for example, you can't simulate fatigue. If you fly from Washington DC to Addis, it takes 13 hours. So the pilots are fatigued. So their reaction time might be less. So for simulator, the students they well prepared, they rested.
They're very alert.
Exactly, the human factors that you cannot simulate. Otherwise, most of the malfunctions you can simulate.
And what are the weather conditions that you prefer?
The simulation depends on the experience of the pilots. At the initial training phase, we simulate them with a nice weather so that they like it at the initial. But for well-experienced pilots, especially pilots who already checked out on the aircraft, they will come every 6 months for recency. So those times, then you have to simulate them the weather condition that they are flying.
We are now with Captain Ebebu, who has been in the company for 18 years. He has been a pilot for 16 years and has trained over 100 pilots. It's been 7 years since you started training pilots?
Yes. It's our responsibility to transfer our knowledge to other fellow pilots. So you have to dedicate yourself while conducting trainings because you have to know a lot. As an instructor, you have to exhibit high standard in terms of discipline and also knowing your equipment. It's about knowing your aircraft system. You have to have knowledge about the aircraft that you are flying. So let us plan to return back. Let me prepare the cockpit for landing.
How many hours do you need in the simulator to become a good pilot?
For initial training, like those who came from other aircrafts, which is like from Boeing or we have Bombardier, so they require about 80 hours simulator time. So after they finish the training effectively, then they have to go to the actual aircraft. So they have to conduct few hours in the actual aircraft even before checking out. This is not enough.
Is it sometimes difficult to juggle your professional life and your private life?
The good part of the job is you can visit a lot of countries and also with your family.
Yes.
So if you manage your time properly, I can say that it's not difficult to manage.
Are we ready to land?
Yes. Now we are 37 miles, so you can reduce your speed to 200.
Until when?
190. Push this button. The level D simulator that we are calling, it simulates the motion, so the actual G-force. This is called side stick.
Yes.
When you fly manual, when you aft, the
Yes.
aircraft climbs,
Okay.
and when you move it forward, the aircraft descends.
Okay.
Okay, and when I make it to the left, the aircraft turns to the left.
Okay.
See?
I see.
Okay, and to the right, I have this feeling. But we don't do it like this. I'm showing you the maneuver, but
Yeah.
I can do it smoothly. See? I'm turning, but this is for the passenger comfort.
Of course.
I have to do it very smoothly because they pay for our salary. Yeah? So that passenger comfort is our priority.
Do you like when passengers are clapping at the end, like after landing?
Of course, when the passengers are satisfied, that's our final goal. We try to do everything possible from the cockpit side and from the cabin side, the best possible in order to satisfy the passengers.
So would you recommend us, passengers, to clap?
Of course. It means, it means a lot for us.
Priority right. 500. 400. 300. 100 above. 200. Minimum.
Continue.
100. 90. 80. 70. 60. 40. 30. 20. Retard.
I don't. So it's a pleasure flying Ethiopian Airlines. So you liked the flight?
I enjoyed it very much.
The flight was amazing.
Perfect. This is what you're supposed to hear, right?
So
አመሰግናለሁ
the aircraft-
Captain.
thank you very much.
We have safely landed in London. We have just parked at the gate 331. Thank you so much, Captain. It was an amazing journey.
Thank you, and it's a pleasure to fly with you.
Amasaganalo.
Thank you very much.
I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of ETA to Z. See you all next time.